Reasons why avoiding stereotypes when marketing to the baby boomer generation is critical. A LinkedIn connection recently messaged me saying, "This may be of interest to you and relevant to your situation." The link was to an article on retirement. Really? She thinks this sort of message is going to sell anything to a baby boomer? In case you need reminding, baby boomers are those of us born between 1946 and 1964, so about half are at retirement age, which is currently 65 in the UK. Referring to a baby boomer as old is hardly a winning approach. Now, here are 6 reasons why not. Reason number 1, don't intend to get old. Baby boomers are a generation that never intended to get old. As Roger Daltry of Who evocatively puts it in the song My Generation, he hopes to die before he gets old. That's why he's still going strong at 75, performing and singing, while Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones, also 75, still tours and is back dancing after his recent heart surgery. Music invariably reflects the culture of its time, and this refusal to become old is a characteristic of many baby boomers that I know. The generation is non-conformist and entrepreneurial. It has traditionally gone against social norms. Reason number 2 are not retiring. Now, unsurprisingly, many baby boomers are not retiring in the sense of ceasing to be economically active. There are countless examples of high-profile baby boomers such as Oprah Winfrey and Richard Branson, who are still continuing to work long after traditional thinking would expect them to stop. Like Warren Buffett, who at nearly 90 is well beyond baby boomer age, many baby boomers are still continuing to work, and they will do for some time yet. That's because work often gives them their purpose in life. Now, Warren Buffett's business is actually investment management. So, of course, his business to succeed needs to make money. But that doesn't mean he's continuing his work because he wants to make more money. Indeed, he's giving away at least half his wealth to the Bill Gates Foundation. So it's not necessarily about money, although many baby boomers do want the extra income, for example, in case they live beyond the sort of average ages. Reason number 3 is that age today isn't the same as it was 50 to 100 years ago. Given the scientific and technical developments and advancements in society, people's chronological age bears little comparison to what those same ages signified 50 or 100 years ago. You see, society's attitude to age is behind the times. Now that we can forge new ground and explore alternative lifestyles that were impossible for many past generations, many of us don't choose traditional retirement. After all, we have so many options open to us in how and where we spend our time. For example, Julia Peyton-Jones, a high flyer in the art world and former boss of the Serpentine Galleries, gave birth to her first child at 64, and Inge Ginsberg, at age 96, I think, is the lead singer of a new band, death metal. Reason number 4, boomers either can't afford to retire or need purpose. You see, of course, the fact that we all live longer brings up many issues, including that many people either can't afford to retire or simply prefer to continue working. Society's approach to age needs to catch up with the reality of our changed world. Attitudes towards work and retirement should be re-examined, given that we're fitter and healthier at the ages where society traditionally expected us to retire. You see, my own story is that my husband's decision to retire a few years ago to focus on his passion for art prompted me to reevaluate my life. He was keen to move out of London, somewhere near the sea, and suggested that I might retire too. At the time, I had an office in London filled with staff, so I had to ask myself some searching questions. Did I want to retire? Could I continue working even if we moved? How would I want to spend my time if I were to retire? What truly inspires me? What value do I want to add? And what do I want my legacy to be? Unlike my husband, I have no consuming interests. My work gives me my purpose. It's what inspires me to constantly grow, improve, and develop. Far from wanting to retire, I realized I want to work for a long time, maybe till my 80s and beyond. To pave the way for our move out of London, I had to make various changes to the business, such as moving out of our physical offices. It's taken about 4 years, and now we've moved out of London to Hastings. This is a new beginning for me and my business. In the process of making these changes, the Azrites business has been transformed. It is totally paperless and has transitioned from being a team located in London offices to one headquartered in Hastings with a presence in London. The plan is to have future employees based in Hastings, while various non-core roles will continue to be filled by remote team members and will carry on using solicitor consultants as the primary way to offer extra legal skills. This is a well-established model in the legal industry, after all. Which leads me back to the topic I started this piece with. Far from retiring, baby boomers comprise around half the entrepreneur market. Reason number 5, baby boomers are the entrepreneurs starting new ventures. As mentioned in a recent blog I wrote, the evidence from an Institute of Directors report, the Financial Times, and other publications is that baby boomers are actually the new startup generation. Whether they're starting new ventures or continuing in existing ones, this generation is going to be economically active for probably another 10 to 30 years. So it's really misguided to target boomers with products designed for their age in stereotypical ways, effectively telling them they're oldies because they've reached their 50s, 60s or 70s. The reality is that baby boomers continuing in entrepreneurship, setting up new businesses, are a significant force in the economy and will continue to be for quite a while yet. Many of the articles that I saw when I was doing this research were quite negative about baby boomers, envious maybe, and certainly show a marked lack of understanding of this generation. I do understand why so many millennials fall into the trap of assuming the baby boomer generation are as good as retired or even wish they'd die off. I too thought that anyone past 50 was at death's door when I was in my 20s and 30s. But age has an uncanny way of seeming vast when you're looking at it from a younger age perspective. And then when you reach those sort of ages, you actually realize that the ages you thought were past it and seemed old are actually not that old at all. And you feel the same person, even though externally you've aged, you've got a few lines. Reason number 6, baby boomers are tech and social media savvy. There are many misconceptions about baby boomers, which I'll be discussing in future pieces because I think this is an important subject. For example, according to a recent Forbes article, which I mention on my blog, stereotypes of boomers as technophobes are plain wrong. They are actually avid tech users, spending more time on technology than any other generation, and account for roughly 1/3 of all online and social media shares. Technology is increasingly a big part of baby boomers' sense of self because technology is what gives this generation the freedom to enjoy working in new ways. In conclusion, the 50-plus audience is much more tech-savvy than many marketers give it credit for. Baby boomers have a wealth of knowledge and skills, and many of them have a lot more they want to contribute to society. They're choosing to remain economically active, so it's high time marketers recognize this instead of perpetuating the many myths about baby boomers that I've touched on in this piece.